Scapegoat, an individual or group unfairly blamed for others' failures, actions, or negative outcomes, often to deflect responsibility or relieve tension. Welcome to the 2026 LSU Baseball Reality Check. The reason why I read the exact definition for the term scapegoat is pretty simple. Ever since Friday, fans, fans mostly, some media personalities have been trying to find a reason for the failures and the shortcomings of this LSU baseball team this year. Some people are blaming Jay Johnson, Coach Nate Yeski, the transfer portal additions, NIL, the LSU Athletics Administration. I can continue on and on with the number of people that have been blamed for this year's outcome so far because the year isn't over with yet. Why? So I started to question, why do people scapegoat? Why? What's the psychological response to having to find a reason to blame somebody for something not going right? So I did a little research, and actually it goes back, you can go back to the times of Leviticus in the Bible. And I remember hearing the story as a child, but I didn't click. So in Leviticus, the high priest would sacrifice two goats. And they would call it scapegoating. One goat would be sacrificed to the gods, to God, to as an atonement for their sins. They would sacrifice it. The other goat will be led away into the wilderness, allowed to live, but the sins will be carried on that goat to be forgotten and removed from the people of the nation. A simple and ridiculous tradition used to help the people feel better about themselves. Did it make any of those people not commit sin? Did it make them become better people in general? No. It gave them an out. It gave them a way to push away any responsibility for their actions, push away any acceptance of how they've lived their life. Scapegoating this coaching staff, these players, the administration, it's not going to make you, well, it'll make you feel better for a short time, but it's not going to fix anything with this season. So I started thinking about, okay, well, how often do people scapegoat? A lot. Does anybody in the chat or watching this remember the 2023 LSU baseball season? Do you remember everyone blaming Ty Floyd for the inconsistency on the weekend rotation, want him out of the weekend rotation, want him to be replaced with Thatcher Hurd, or wanting Jordan Thompson taken off the field due to his inability to swing the bat to plate? If LSU wouldn't have won a national championship in 2023, players like Ty Floyd, Jordan Thompson, coaches Wes Johnson would be scapegoated for that team. And you can do it for 2025. I remember hearing people say they wanted Stephen Milam back at second base, saying he was a reason why they weren't going to be successful in the postseason. He didn't have the arm. He wasn't good enough on the transfer. Same thing could be said about Michael Braswell. Wanting Michael Braswell moved back to third, taken out of the lineup in general because he wasn't hitting the ball. Michael Braswell, I believe, won you. Michael Braswell and Chris Stanfield, I believe, won you that first game against Coastal in the World Series. Scapegoating is the easy answer to a problem you cannot solve. But the scapegoats do not solve the problem. All scapegoats are a way to direct your aggression, your disappointment onto individuals or circumstances that shouldn't hold the full weight of responsibility or account for the full responsibility of what's going on. Now, am I saying Jay Johnson, Nate Yeski, and the LSU Athletics Administration, or the transfer portal hold no responsibility? No. There's plenty of blame to go around. Plenty. But for example, I promise you, firing Nate Yeskie will not solve these woes. Tonight, we're going to talk about those woes in general. We will briefly discuss my beliefs on why the woes are happening. After the season, we're going to definitely not be brief on that. I want to hold a lot of things I want to say till after the season because I do believe in these guys and crazier things have happened. And we're not going to do big picture things until after the season. All right. It's pretty simple. Scapegoating these players and these coaches will make you feel better in the short term, but it will not change the reality we face. Let's be honest. We will not make an NCAA regional. This LSU baseball team will not make an NCAA regional. Yes, I said it. I'm saying it now. The 2026 LSU baseball team will not make it into the NCAA tournament. Now, they are still going to the SEC tournament. Don't listen to Matt Moscona. But does that mean I'm giving up on this team if they're not making the NCAA tournament? No. There's a short, very mild chance. It's so minuscule, it's crazy. But there is a chance. And if there's always a chance, I'm not going to give up on this team. But if you have to ask the question if I'm giving up on this team, you don't know me. But it's time to face the truth. It's time to face reality, and it's time to accept it is what it is. This team is not making the NCAA regional. It doesn't hurt anybody more than me to say that. I promise you. It sucks. But we're here together tonight. We're going to be together tonight. We're going to be together for whoever watches this later. We're going to go through this together. We're going to work on this together. We're going to work our way through it. We're going to have our therapy session, as I like to call it. In the chat, give me your thoughts, questions, concerns, vent, say whatever you want to say. This is a judgment-free zone. Don't get crazy. Y'all know how I am. But it's time we start looking at the reality of the situation and understanding where we are and what's coming. As always, all I ask of you to do for me, hit the like button. Share the show with your friends and family. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm already planning summer content and guests for the show that y'all not going to want to miss out on. It's going to be fun summer because I know summertime can get a little dull. You lose a lot of stuff. You hear, the summer camp and, workouts and this. We're going to have some fun stuff going on. Also, follow social media pages. Hit the follow button on Walk It Off Talk and Paul Jared 16 on Instagram at Walk It Off Talk. I'm always posting stuff there. Give me a follow. It's all free. All I ask from you is to do stuff that is free. Period. Also, if you could support those who support us, we will discuss the LSU Mississippi State series and further our discussion into the woes of this team. And you can always find good in any situation. And we're going to talk about that good tonight. You have enough shows that will talk about the bad. We're going to discuss some of the bad. We're going to discuss a lot of the good. There's some good things with this ball club that you can look forward to. We're going to look ahead to Southeastern tomorrow night, my beliefs on that game and how I think that could be handled. Then discuss other news surrounding college athletics. Yes, Brendan Sorsby. At the end, we're going to have the pick-to-click drawings from the weekend. So if you're in the chat, stick around to the end, see if you won the pick-to-click for this weekend. Nevertheless, please like, follow, subscribe. I'll see you in a minute.
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. Like that truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. Like no matter what we're going to face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, like Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, like he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus won.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test.
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LSU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus won.
In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lemme Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lemme Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemme Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemme Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemme Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredient in anything made is love. Lemme Sourdough Bakery.
All right, we're back. One quick thing before we get into the rest of the content. I'm sorry. The Jesus One white, purple, and gold hoodie. If you've purchased one, thank you very much. Thank you. I got word earlier. Those hoodies are only going to be on the store right now until Thursday. So let me give you a little peek behind the curtain. Jesus One takes these products. They only have so much limited stock they can do. It is a ministry at the end of the day, guys. It's not like a big clothing brand. It is a ministry. They only have so much to work with. But they take limited runs to see how a product does. So right now they're testing the white, purple, and gold hoodie. It's just like this. I'm telling you guys, it is so comfy. Anyways, I'm trying my best to get as many of those sold for a couple reasons. One, I want to beat the Crazy Swayze out of Ole Miss. Two, I want to get that back on the store permanently because I think people will like it. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway. Let me know in the chat if that's something you would be up for. It would be similar to the Dylan Cruz giveaway. Post a copy of your receipt in the comment if I do it. And I don't know, we may have a Milam or Kate Anderson jersey or something else to help drive some interaction to it. Because Jesus One really is a great brand. At the end of the day, they're a brand, but they are a ministry. And they make really good stuff for a really good price. Like this hoodie right here is $24 with the code WalkItOffTalk. So if that's something y'all be interested in, let me know. Because I think it would be, I really want to beat the Crazy Swayzes. Really, really, really bad. All right, let's get into some comments real quick before we carry on. My man, Babbing on the Bayou. What's up, buddy? David Belliot with Go Deep Dive. Yo. Robbie Plaisance, what's up, fellas? What's y'all's thoughts on the newest baseball commit, Colby Stringer? We're going to get into that here in a little bit. Do a little deep dive on him. Deep dive. Can't say that. Tiger Joker. Hi. Hi. Dave's asking if Colby can come out of the bullpen. Well, he's a freshman. Let's see. All right. EP, is this a safe place for recovering baseball fans? It is. It is a very, very safe place. call this? No, I don't want to call myself that. Even though the colors are purple, I don't want to call myself that. Zach, 2027 Natty inbound. Look, I haven't wanted to say this. I did post about it, but if you're telling me that the next iteration of LSU baseball dynastic runs is not a great year, Natty, not a great year, Natty, not a great year, Natty, and so on and so forth, I'll take it. I'll take it. Ooh, I'll take it, boy. Hey, P, are people really calling for Yeski? Yep, they sure are. They sure are. They're winning the SEC tourney. They're going to have to. When I looked at some numbers earlier, they're going to have to. Is it possible? Yeah. Likely? No. All right. David talked about how they had to debunk a Yeski fan last night, a fire Yeski guy. Yeah. He thought he coached Paul Skeens. All right, let's see. And Zach is saying this isn't a completely judgment free. He's judging people. Well, feel free. And David called Zachary. So I think on that note, we're going to get into the content because people are calling each other by their government names. So we're going to get into the conversation. LSU, Mississippi State. What can be said? As we all know, they've lost their third straight SEC series in a row. Their third straight sweep, not sweeping, getting swept in a row in the SEC. They went up to Starkville. I've been reading the Skip Burtman translation today. Sorry, Starkville. And the season has now entered the Bill Murray phase of the baseball season, Groundhog's Day. We have now entered the Bill Murray phase of the season. On Friday, LSU would, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, let's just get that out of the way, would enter the bottom half of the first inning, all leading 3-0. Matter of fact, yesterday, I didn't think it was going to happen, and I put out a post saying if they go up 3 in the top of the first, I'm going to need medical attention. Well, that's why I slept in so late this morning. How else are we going into Groundhog's Day? On Friday, LSU going to the bottom of the sixth inning, leading 7-5 to watch that lead disappear. They were leading 7-5. Remember those numbers, 7. In the bottom of the sixth, they were up. They had scored 7 runs. On Saturday, going into the bottom of the seventh inning, they were leading 7-2. They would watch that lead disappear. Yesterday, LSU took a lead into the bottom of the sixth again, leading 8-5. Just to watch that lead disappear. Is that Coach Yeski's fault? All right, let me just carry on. I'm not going to get into that right now. We're in Groundhog's Day. Now, my opinions on the weekend. Am I disappointed in the results? Yes. Am I disappointed in coaching decisions made? Yes. Am I disappointed in the players, the way the players played? No, not really. They fought each and every game where you lost that lead in the 6th or 7th inning. The guys didn't lay down. They fought. Friday, for example, going to 11 innings, they fought. At some point, that dam's going to break, or that switch is going to flip to where you just don't even have the pitching or the talent to stay in it, or the will. Now, not questioning their willpower. I'm not questioning how much they want to win. Just saying, it becomes it gets to a point where there's no more advantage. Just you're on the road in a hostile environment against a good team. You get to that point where you run out of pitching, they're going to just flip the switch and take the game from you. Before we get to some bad things, let's talk about good things. Omar Cerna and Mason Braun. On the weekend, they would combine. I'm sure LSU put out this stat right before I went live. Great for me. Even though I did this work earlier, that could have saved me a lot of time. LSU baseball graphics. I had to go do math. On the weekend, Omar Cerna and Mason Braun were combined to hit 556. They went 15 to 27. Cerna was 8-14. Braun was 7-13. Cerna would be hit by 2 pitches. Braun would be hit by 1, but he would walk 3 times. So, not in those stats. That's 4 on base right there. Combined, they would score 10 runs and drive in 8, 4 RBIs each. Cerna would, of course, have 3 pumps on the weekend, 1 every day. Braun didn't have any pumps, but he did have a double. No, he had a triple. Take that back. He had a triple. I think he had a double and a triple, actually. As a team, this team scored 24 runs over the weekend. They accounted for 9 of them combined. If you want to find a silver lining to this team, it's the freshmen. Omar Cerna, Mason Braun, William Patrick, Jack Ruckert. Wait. Jack Ruckert. Hold on. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, yeah. You mouth breathers wanted Jack Ruckert benched or kicked off the team. We try telling you how good the kid is. He makes a mistake. Hold on. All right. Let's get into that. It's not even a mistake. I had enough people ask me about that this weekend. I call it the neighborhood call. A lot of people call it a neighborhood call. We're going to get into the aspects of a neighborhood call here. Join me. The call they got everyone on Jack Ruckert's behind earlier in the season, where he didn't have his foot on the bag for a double play, I call that a neighborhood call. I call it a neighborhood call. And it bit Milam this weekend as well. No one told Milam to get kicked off the team. I get it. Milam's been here. He's done great things. He has 1 error in the year. I get it. I understand why people didn't say kick Milam off the team. But trying to remind y'all about Jay Brown, North Carolina. Y'all run your mouth, say stupid things, and all of a sudden bite you. Don't let it bite you. Neighborhood call. So, let me find something. All right. So, that's right here. We're going to call this second base. All right? The area around second base is what I call the neighborhood. Until instant replay, umpires, field judges, whatever you want to call them out on the base paths, would give second basemen and shortstops the neighborhood rule, meaning you couldn't be 5 feet off the bag and get the call. But if you're in the general vicinity of the bag on a receive and transfer to first, they gave you the neighborhood call. Why? A lot of it was for safety until the last few years where they've directed that players or base runners have to slide directly into the bag. They can't slide. They can slide through the bag, but they can't slide around the bag. They have to slide directly into second base. A lot of players, they would be breaking up double plays. Why am I putting quotations on that? They would break up double plays, trying to save that base runner at first from getting out. So you'd slide into the second baseman or the shortstop. You would have your hands up. You would have your hands up as you slide back to kind of get into their face, kind of like in basketball where you put your hands up in front of a jump shooter, right? That's the neighborhood call. It was more or less a safety protocol to say, hey, I know you're there. The intent's there. The throw beat the guy. You're there. We're not going to make a big deal of it because it's a safety thing. Now it is the replay. They have to look at everything. That's one of the things I don't like about replay. I don't know if this rule translates to the MLB, but I know it translates to college. The one thing I don't like about that is they have to look at the entire play. Look back to, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head right now, the play at home plate earlier this year. I think that was with, I forget who the player was, but you had the play coming into home plate. He missed the plate, but he didn't get tagged, and he got up and walked over and touched the plate. They scored him safe. It's that same, I think that was actually Braun. It's the same thing. They can't, if you, on the double play on a replay, say you're calling to challenge the play at first base, they have to look at the entire play. They can't just focus on first place. The umpires and the review judges have to look at the entire play to make a call. So, and if say there's a call at second base they believe is missed, they have to make that call as well. That kind of what bit us the other night. So that's the neighborhood call. They had a couple people post about it. I should have made a post. I was at work. I was honestly just kind of fed up with the call because that's a baseball thing, right? It used to be back in the day. Did the throw beat the guy? Like especially on like throwdowns with second base. Did the throw beat the guy? Yeah. Did the throw beat the guy at home plate? Yeah. Right. It's a lot of that. Now it's a lot more, and you need to have better umpires and officiating, especially in the SEC. We're not going to get into umpires today and balls and strikes calls, even though we kind of need ABS in the SEC now. But the neighborhood call is a thing for a reason. Now that you have guys sliding directly into second base, it kind of negates the neighborhood call to a point, but it's still a safety thing. Do you want Rucker to be on the shortstop side of the bag, reaching like a first baseman, unable to get the transfer right? No. You'll never turn a double play. So all you mouth breathers wanted to jump on Jack Ruckert's case early in the season because of that. And if you bring up the throw before that, I remember it, I'll roast you. Don't care. Kid moved from behind second base. When I say behind second base, he's back here. Moves behind second base, goes deep almost to the 5 hole and tries to make a throw like Milam, and then goes offline. I don't care. Kid got to the ball. Cool. So I don't want to hear that. Stop getting, especially freshmen, stop getting on them like this, saying, oh, kick him off the tour, Doug. No one cares what you have to say, you mouth breathers. Mongoloids. All right. Praise Jesus. Anyways. Looks like Jack Rucker's pretty good, right? All right. I got into the neighborhood call. Also, Jack Ruckert, he didn't have a great time at the plate. And I'm going to say, before anybody decides to come in my comments or come on my posts and say, well, what about the plate? It's the kid's first weekend of SEC play. I don't expect him to light up the world. Still had a big double for you. Mouth breathers. All right. Let's get into some comments real quick because I need to collect myself. All right. Zach, don't judge me. I'm just a kid. Oh Lord, what did I get? What did I see? Zach said he have a gavel. Hey, sometimes I may need producer Zach on here to keep me in check. David just called me Zachary. Go Deep Dive is over. It was nice knowing all of you. Shut up. Exactly. Pipe down, Zach. How much are they? They're $30 without the code. They are $24 with the code. I think like $8 for shipping or something like that. So okay. Thank you, Zach. $32 after code and shipping. And he's just gonna start calling David Jr. Well, we have Babin Jr. We have Babin. Can't do that. Miss Alex, my order for Jesus 1 is on the way. That's my girl. If y'all think the giveaway would be a cool thing, let me know. So I'm really contemplating it. I've been called Lord David by my family my whole life. You can't hurt me. Oh. Don't test me. I can't wear white. I'm messy. Yeah. Some people are messy. All right. Joker has bought 2 of the hoodies. He's giving one away. Atta baby. So that's 4 right there. His Pittsburgh hoodie got delivered today. That's awesome. The black and gold. I like it. Max said, hi, Mr. Paul. Hey, Max, sweetheart, make sure your daddy gets you ice cream. Uh, he was gonna say Purple Hearts, wasn't he? When was I gonna say Purple Hearts? I hate to say this, but this adversity for this young portion of the team is going to be so valuable in 2027. All right, let's get to that real quick. Yeah, it can be. But in today's day and age of college athletics and transfer portals and money, good thing. We're seeing a lot of young guys produce. Guys like Cerna, Braun, Ruckert, um, William Patrick, right? William Patrick had a rough weekend, but I'm not. The stash plays. The stash plays. Tell me what movie that's from, and I'll give you $2. The bad part about it, we're showing a lot of great talent. A lot of great talent with young guys and a lot of teams who have the money and have the roster space, maybe on a better run this year, could possibly try to come get them. Now, I don't have a big worry about losing a bunch of guys in the portal. I truly don't. I've thought about it. People have asked me about it. I don't see it happening. But it's a consideration you have to make. Could the adversity, and this is the thing about the adversity, though, Zach. The adversity from the fan base to the young guys right now, it isn't like a trial and error basis or like a test, right? Like a crucible to get through a piece of adversity and you're kind of past it. I've said it before. This LSU fan base can be the best fan base in the country and the worst, right? I always bring up Jake Brown in 2024 in North Carolina. This year with Jack Ruckert, with the one error he had that game, that was the neighborhood call. If I thought the adversity would come in and kind of wash in and wash out like waves on a beach, that'd be one thing. But it's more like a hurricane coming 3 to 4 times a year sometimes for a guy. So that's where it kind of worries me. Sounds like it kind of worries me. Sounds familiar because he's your shortstop 2027. You mean Ethan Kloss, right? Ethan Kloss? Third baseman? I don't know who your third baseman is next year. I'd like to say John Pearson. That was Kloss, but I thought that was Ruckert on the neighborhood call. Either way, getting onto a kid like that is stupid. What was the call where everybody gone to they wanted Ruckert going as an Oklahoma game? Well, either way. Zach also calls it a neighborhood call. You could have let me just have that, by the way, Joker. No one remembered it. Ruckert always not Ruckert. Joker's always one up in me. Thank you, Paul, because I'm a baseball dumb. I was about to ask what a neighborhood call was. Yeah. It's non-existent now if it goes to replay. I promise you there's a couple double plays that if you went back and slowed down, they'd be neighborhood calls. But if they go to replay, it's no longer a neighborhood call, which is stupid. Robbie, my question is, if we played the freshman early in the season, would we have more wins right now because of the producing right now? You can what if it to death. I don't think you do. Because you can also look at it like this. Would we have a better team right now if Dardar wasn't out? Would we have better production at the plate if Dardar wasn't out? If Stanny wasn't hurt, would we have better production? If he wasn't hurt early in the year and played through a lot of injuries, more than people know, would we have better production? If Jake Brown isn't out, if Cooper Moore isn't out, you can what if and what if and what if. It's the same thing. If you just started Reagan Ricken on Fridays instead of Case and Evans, you can what if it to death. I don't get into that. It's kind of crazy. So is that slide not illegal then because of the strict enforcement of the rule with instant replay? So as long as they're sliding directly into the bag, They have to slide directly into the bag. So you have to take basically a laser pointer from the middle of first base to the middle of second base, and they have a travel lane they have to stay in. They have their runner's lane they have to stay within. They can't. So if you go back and watch, it was the Mets. Oh, Phillies, I want to say a few years back. I can't remember the manager's name, but it's a great mic'd up moment between a manager and an umpire. It's a great video. Chase Utley, it was Chase Utley. I believe he was with the Phillies. It may have been the Dodgers by now. Slid into second base, took out the shortstop, and basically ended his career. So, rules of baseball, he comes up to the plate, he's wearing one, and Noah Syndergaard sent one behind him at like 101. It didn't hit him, but he got tossed. And yeah, that's kind of why they started doing that was kind of the catalyst for what caused that rule. Because it used to be slide in and out of the bag. Guys wouldn't even try to go for the bag. They just go for the fielder. Because that was part of baseball. Kind of like hockey and fighting. Hitting the guys off the mound and sliding into fielders used to be a thing in baseball. Let's see. Wasn't that when Sandy got hurt? Stanley got hurt sliding into home plate. Stanley got hurt sliding into home plate. Dave's going to be the new SEC umpire next season. He can't get much worse. Can't get much worse. Kick him off the tour, Doug. Exactly. Let's see. Rucker hit the ball hard. Yes, he did. Mr. Stanley Reed, I'm happy to see you in here, buddy. He did hit the ball hard. I like Rucker at second base, man. I like it. All right. I think Jay is focused on keeping this core to build the team around. He's actually told us that already. I don't think he's letting many people leave anymore. I think there will be a couple people leaving. I think there's going to be one or two we don't want to see leave. I also think it's going to be one that's not leaving. Well, y'all know my opinion on that. Uncle Randy, what's up? Come to the box Friday and Sunday. Add a baby. When is the tailgate for Florida? It's going to be the Saturday game for Florida. That is going to be the tailgate. Oh, all right. Everybody in here, I need a favor. If you're going to the game Saturday, I will give you cash. I will give you money. Dinero. I was going to go to the game and get the Skip Bertman statue. I want that badly. I may have a piece of memorabilia you want that I can trade you for it. I have to go to a wedding because people don't know how to schedule weddings. If somebody in the chat can please get me the Skip Bertman statue, my morality can be questioned of what I would do to get that. We're going to keep it private, but my morality can be questioned on what I'm willing to do to get that. If you can give me the Skip Bertman statue Saturday, don't ask, don't tell, is in this household. All right. We're going to leave some. So let's leave it there for right now. Let's get into some other stuff. All right. Let's get into some heartbreaks. Now, the credentialed member of LSU Media is in the chat. If he has more information than I do, please let me know. If y'all have seen something since I've been on, please let me know. Or if Jay has said something in his coaching show, please let me know. But I find it hard to believe that Casey Evans is going to throw another pitch this year. I don't know if he's like injured or hurting. I just don't. I find it really hard to believe Casey is going to throw another pitch. Let me tell you why. Right now, this LSU baseball team is currently 24-21 on the year. You have Southeastern tomorrow night, South Carolina coming to town for a 3-game series. So that's 4 games. You have Tulane at home. You go on the road to Georgia. So that's 7. Then you have Florida here for 3. So 3, 6, 9. So it's 11. You have 11 games remaining. Southeastern, South Carolina, Tulane, Georgia, Florida. I'll be honest. I asked this on Go Deep Dive the other night, and I talked about this with Babin on his show earlier. On Saturday, I asked David and Justin what the SEC series would be from Sunday on, and I called 1-9. SEC baseball wise, I'm still sticking with 1-8. I'll be honest. So, and honestly, my thoughts on Southeastern, I don't know how you win that game. I don't know where your pitching is at. I don't know who you're going to pitch. I don't know how, because you burned everyone this weekend. The only pitcher that didn't throw, DJ Primo. Dax Dothy threw. I'm trying to think of anybody else that didn't throw. DJ Primo gets the ball on the bump Tuesday. Let's ride. That's the only one that didn't throw. So I don't know where your pitching is for Tuesday. And Southeastern's not a bad team. I know they're little brother, but they can come in. And a lot of people say that we are now these guys' World Series. You're also their RPI builder or lessener, one way or another. And they smell blood in the water. They can go get you. In years where they thought that we're gonna go to Baton Rouge, we're going to get some guys some work, see some high talent arms, see some good pitching, this and that, play under the big lights. Now they smell blood in the water and they think they can get you. So Southeastern is not a gimme game. Same thing for Tulane. If you are a LSU baseball fan, Tulane LSU goes back decades. And Tulane always wants to get you. I still remember the outfielder's name from the early 2000s, Asia Bartow and Arian Bartow. They were brothers. They were twins. They were good. But I'll give you the midweeks, right? So what I say, you're 24-21 right now. You have 11 games left. I say you win 3. I say you win 1 against South Carolina. And people say South Carolina's a gimme. They just swept Kentucky. Oh, they were up for sweeping Kentucky. I know they won the series. A team you fought hard against at home. South Carolina just beat Kentucky. So they're not a bad team no more. Maneri's gone. Now I think Maneri's going to be in the ballpark this weekend, which would be cool. But I think you get 1. I don't think you beat Georgia. I don't think you beat Florida. So you're 1-8 in SEC play, 2-0 in midweek. So you are 3-8. That puts you at 27-29. Even though I don't know if you have the pitching to get you through midweeks right now. That means you have to do what Zach called in the comments earlier. You have to go on a run in the SEC tournament to get to the postseason. And by the way, as far as I understand the rule, you have to be 1 game over 500 and make the NCAA tournament. So you have to go to Hoover and win at least 4. And you're going to be playing Tuesday morning, more than likely, against a good team in the SEC. And other teams aren't going to sit there and pitch off. For other programs in this conference, they care about winning the tournament. We don't. We do this year. But I'm not giving up all hope on them. I'm just looking at the reality of the situation, and I'm not going to sunshine pump. It's looking bleak. So bleak, it's dark. It's midnight. All right. Well, it's 11:55 p.m. It's about to be midnight. Yeah. If you think they can go beat South Carolina 3 out of 3, Georgia 3 out of 3, or take 2 out of 3 and then sweep Florida, be my guest. I'd love to see it. I would love to come on here and eat crow. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see it happen. Talk about a couple things, coach and staff decisions on the weekend. I'll be honest. We're going to get into this at the end of the season. I'm not ecstatic on some of the coaching decisions we've made this year. I do not know more than Jay Johnson. I'm prefacing this. I do not know more than Jay Johnson. That man has forgotten more baseball than I've learned. All right. But I haven't been happy with some decisions he made. Examples: pinch hitting York, lefty on lefty with 2 outs, bases loaded, and at bat you needed a momentum moment. Going lefty on lefty with a guy who hasn't been seeing the ball well for 2/3 of the season. I don't like it there. I get you can have a feeling, but I don't like the matchup. I would have went to Yaman in that instance, or any other righty that you could have had off the bench. But I don't like that call. Pinch hitting Harden for Yaman Saturday and Sunday. Don't like that either. I understand Yaman was 0 for 4 on Sunday. I don't care. The guy cares. I know Harden cares too. Don't get me wrong. I know Harden cares. I love Harden. I love him. I comped him to Jared Mitchell preseason, even though I've been told fall ball doesn't matter. I love Harden. But I just didn't like in that situation, especially doing 2 days in a row. And then the pitching staff, my problem with the pitching staff moves, I get it. You lose Kaysen on Friday, it kind of changes everything for the weekend. It turns into, hey, let's go. But when you're in a situation, you can't really go one batter, one batter pitchers. You got to kind of give guys leash. I wish Newt would have had a little more leash. I wish Binge would have had a little more leash. And then it kind of flips, right? You leave people in too long. And we're going to get into more of it at the end of the year. It's probably going to take 2 episodes for me to kind of dump all my thoughts and feelings on this team through the year. Let's get into some more comments before we get into our next section. All right. Let's see. Where am I at? All right. If grandma had balls, she'd be grandpa. Yes, because it was Utley. Yeah, but I think it was I think it was the Dodgers. I think it was Mets Dodgers. So I think Utley had went on. It was the Dodgers. Utley had already left the Phillies and went to the Dodgers. Joker, you're going. Joker, I will buy a ticket and send you the screenshot. I need that statue. Jay said he might throw Friday. There's a lot of optimism. Okay. There was a good report from the medical doctors. He also said the nature of the symptoms made him feel better about the outlook of the injury. So if he used the word injury, I get worried. Because the reason I get worried, if you use the word injury, that means something's actually wrong. Injury descriptions by Jay Johnson, I don't really put a whole lot of weight into, just because if we all remember, Cooper's injury was a tricep. Now it's the elbow. I call it elbow from the beginning. That's what it looked like. But I guess it could have been the tricep and then the elbow. I don't know. My thing is this. If Kaysen is even 2% injured, shelf him. Save him. Because we don't need somebody. We want somebody building in the offseason, not recovering, in my opinion, at this point of the year. They say he didn't feel good warming up. They checked him out, and they have a plan going forward. Okay. Mr. Chase, always wrong. Southeastern has a tough team, and they feel confident. Yeah, they do. And Zach, Wally Palm Classic. Exactly. I wonder why they don't do the Wally Palm Classic anymore. They used to play that game. I think they played the Tulane series in the Superdome when Skip was here. Then they had it at the Shrine on Airline with the Zephyrs. Chase, if Maneri was still coaching, I'd feel better about it. Yeah, me too. You can win the conference tournament, still be eligible. Tulane did that and had to face Skeens. Yeah, no, I know that. It's possible, but does crow taste like chicken? not going to use that word. Miss Tiger Joker. Hello, everyone. How you doing, Mrs. Tiger Joker? Stanley Reed, Bobby P. Joker. What's up? What's up? Pearson, Stanley out for the Southeastern game, he said too. At the Shrine. No one knows the movie from the line, The Stash Plays. No one knows that? Gosh. Thought I had some better people in here. All right. Let's get into something we all want to talk about. Brendan Sorsby. Per Pete Thamel. Texas. Well, we'll get into that real quick. Per Pete Thamel. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby is self-admitting himself into a residential treatment program for a gambling addiction. The decision comes off of a discovery, and I quote from the article, thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via sports gambling app. Pete Thamel. I cannot talk tonight. Pete Thamel also expresses through sources that Sorsby in 2022 had placed wagers on Indiana football while redshirting for the Hoosiers. Now, it's another little fun thing I read earlier today. Brendan Sorsby, and this is, if you are an LSU fan, this is kind of harking back some memories back to, what would that be, 2023. Per on 3, Brendan Sorsby attended Cincinnati Reds games and on repeated occasions and placed live wagers on balls and strikes, amounts ranging anywhere from $2.50 to less than $1 per pitch. Looks like Cincinnati Reds are involved in all kinds of betting allegations. You go from Pete Rose to the Alabama head coach to Brendan Sorsby. Pete Thamel also, this is back to the Pete Thamel Oracle per ESPN, will continue on to state Sorsby only bet on the Hoosiers to win. He never bet on a game in which he appeared on the field. Sounds like Pete Rose to me, and the Cincinnati Reds link kind of doesn't help you, bud. How do you know if you're going to play the game or not? Usually, especially if you're a Cincinnati Red, not Cincinnati, Indiana Hoosiers quarterback. Now, granted, in 2022, the Hoosiers weren't lighting up the world. They weren't winning natties, but usually you weren't in games where you could play a backup. So how do you know it wasn't going to play? So I don't believe that. The venerable and all-powerful NCAA is currently investigating Brendan Sorsby and his gambling past, but no law enforcement agencies currently are investigating Brendan Sorsby at this time. I don't know how they would investigate it. I believe he's over the age of 21. I believe sports gambling is allowed in Texas, I believe. And they can't investigate crimes outside of their jurisdiction unless it becomes a federal matter, which I don't think this would turn into a federal matter. Now, the NCAA does prohibit players from any form of gambling, and states violators are ineligible for competition subject to appeal. Earlier, my buddy Tiger Joker, who's in the chat, asked me if he should take the Texas Tech under in wins right now. Well, give you some news on that before you can take your bet there, Joker. Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby will most definitely be appealing any decisions made by the NCAA. But it gives us a glimpse into whether or not there's any bark to their bite or bite to their bark with the NCAA. We know recently they've been beating their chest a lot when it comes to transfer portal and recruiting tampering. I believe they just had a ruling come down on, I forget the team, but they just had a ruling come down on a team for tampering and when they already self-reported and self-imposed penalties. Thamel would say in the article how serious punishments could be for players found gambling or doing sports betting. And per the article, this is how the NCAA reads their I'm going to read this verbatim so I don't get it wrong. This is how the NCAA kind of levies their punishments per the wager. Wagers made of $800 or greater would lead to the potential loss of 30% season eligibility. So Make it easy math, 10 games, 3 games, ineligible. Cumulative waivers made in excess of $800 could lead to considerations of further loss of eligibility, including permanent loss of eligibility. So that kind of puts a lot more weight to the Sorsby betting $2.50 on multiple pitches. I mean, there's usually could be around 250 pitches in a game. If he's doing $1 a pitch, that's 250. If he's there multiple times, he's going to be over $800. The problem with that now is with Pete Thamel in the article kind of stating, because I never knew that part of it. I knew that it was illegal for players to bet. But having a dollar amount associated with how much a player can bet kind of tells me right now that the NCAA may not have the bite to their bark. I personally don't see the NCAA coming down hard on this kid. Why? He supplemented himself to a rehabilitation facility. I promise you, the individuals with power in Lubbock, which is where Texas Tech is, I've already been in conversations with the NCAA. There's a reason why he admitted himself into a treatment facility. This wasn't he woke up Monday morning, hey guys, I need help. I'm going to a facility. No, this was something that was discovered before, and they kind of found a way to deal with it. They're going to need to, because right now they're stuck with their backup quarterback who's nursing an ACL injury. He tore his ACL. His name is, I believe, Will Hammond. He tore his ACL last October, and right now, per their medical, his earliest ability to return would be week 3. Is everybody kind of happy now Lane Kiffin took his time on jumping at Brendan Sorsby? I know they went after him. I mean, Texas Tech leaked the MMR deal we had for Brendan Sorsby. So they went after him. But they didn't jump and give him everything he wanted. I'm sure I would be willing to bet somebody like Lane Kiffin, and especially LSU at the time, because of the Lane Kiffin acquiring Lane Kiffin and all that drama and the transfer portal stuff. They probably vetted players a little bit more than a lot of other teams. You would think every school would vet guys a little bit deeper now with the portal. I bet teams do now, because now Texas Tech, if he's found ineligible and ineligible from play, they have to find a way to get that money back now. And all of you probably don't remember this. Cincinnati was already suing Brendan Sorsby for $1 million for breach of contract. And actually, I have an update on that. Today, of all days, Brendan Sorsby has filed a motion to dismiss Cincinnati's lawsuit against him today per on 3. So he now is fighting a quick case trying to get his eligibility back for this upcoming season. He's fighting a case not to lose $1 million to Cincinnati for breach of contract, who I can promise you Texas Tech will have to end up picking up that tab, or maybe that's why Brendan's gambling. He's trying to win that money. Anyways, you have the Outlook and the one second. You have the Outlook. I'm read that in a minute. You have the optics of Texas Tech bringing in Sorsby, Cincinnati suing Sorsby over breach of contract. You have the outlook of possibly tampering the transfer portal with Texas Tech. Now, for the first time, the NCAA is not going to want this on their hands. They're going to want to have this kind of die down quickly. I'm surprised this didn't come out in a Friday news dump, kind of like the Verge Osbury extension did. I didn't even write that down. I just thought about that. May have to get on that Thursday. We're running out of time. But this is what I got to say. Should you take the bet on the Texas Tech under and wins this year? I would jump on the odds quick, because they probably moved. And if Sorsby gets his eligibility back, dump him. dump that bet. Take your buyout. Take your payout. I don't bet anymore. All right. Let's get back to the comments real quick. All right. At the shrine. We just got back home and Max said to tell you peace out. Peace out, Max. I hope your daddy got you ice cream. I really do. The Canes. I'm so glad we didn't spend $5 million on him. Look. NCAA rules. If you bail your team, you lose eligibility or another sport of your university. Also, it's any sport, any level of athletics, professional or collegiate. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I agree. Wait, Robbie, are you Robbie? I need you to tell me whether or not this is true or not. If Pete Rose is I doubt he's a first cousin, but if he's related to Pete Rose, please tell me that. Gambling is not legal in Texas, only prize picks. Okay. That works. So with Cooper, that tricep thing makes sense. The tricep entrance into the olecranon. Did I say that right? Olecranon? That's super sciencey. Yeah, I get that. I wouldn't call the tricep and the olecranon the tricep. I'd call it the elbow. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Supposedly Texas Tech knew about this in January. They may have. And if they had done their job, but I don't know why you bring a guy in knowing you're going to pay him $5 million more and lose him and not have him. Levitt is way better than Sorsby, in my opinion. They're both very good quarterbacks. They're two different style of quarterbacks. I'm happy with Sam Levitt. I'm very, very happy with Sam Levitt. You can't. They removed the Texas Tech betting odds. Did they really? Not if you got it before Zach. Wow. Okay, Robbie, you were joking. Okay, now there's two questions I'm gonna bring up. We're about to do the pick to click giveaways. Sorry, I'm taking longer. We're having a good discussion. I didn't want to kill it. I did ask on X if anybody had any questions for tonight. So I had two of them. We're going to address them right now. Miss Peggy, why Jay needs money to keep that talent? Why does Jay need the money to keep the talent? I'm guessing she's talking about the freshman talent. We talked about it earlier. If you think Mississippi State, A&M, Texas, Georgia, Bama, Florida, go on and on, UCLA, because you have guys who are West Coast guys, are not going to be coming after these kids, you're wrong. Now, they have to enter the transfer portal. Technically. They have to enter the transfer portal technically. So they can't be tampering. And if they do tamper, boy, I hope Jay throws a fit like Dabo Sweeney. I hope he throws a fit. They need to fix the calendar about it anyway. If they don't enter the transfer portal, you're safe. But if they enter the transfer portal, you could get outbid pretty bad. And you're right, Joker, agents can talk. They can. But the transfer, they have to enter a transfer portal. Now, that'd be another hour-long conversation talking about agents and this whole deal with that. Hopefully, I believe Jay can keep the guys here. If Jay has the rev share amount he needs and the support from the fan base and support of local businesses, it goes a long way to keeping these guys here. And then Mr. Arthur, I don't want to mess up your last name, buddy. Why can't pitchers consistently throw strikes? Lack of talent development or both? Why can't they throw strikes? Okay. That's probably a Nate Yeskie thing. It's a lot more to it than just being able to throw strikes. I promise you, standing in the stands, yelling at the pitcher, yelling throw strikes, he's thought about it. I promise you. It turns into your approach on a certain player. It depends on your game plan against a certain guy. Like, I promise you, what was that? The Friday game against Ole Miss when Kaysen left that fastball about yay high on Pano, the 9-hole guy who didn't have a home run the whole year. That wasn't in the game plan. So it's just missing. And other teams having better approaches at the plate than your game plan to pitch them. Now, it's a really broad question asking, is it a lack of development? No, because you see development out of Kaysen, you see development out of Schmidt, Santiago Garcia, Connor Binge. Connor Binge is your huge example of having development. You have development on the staff. Yes, he can't go on the mound and throw for him. Am I right? I mean, the development's there. The talent is there. Look at Marcos Paz. If you go back and look at my posts from Fall Ball, one of my posts was, I was unfamiliar with your gangster, Mr. Paz. Dude's a gangster. Dude's awesome. You have the development there. All right. And we'll get into this real quick right before we get into the Pit Click giveaway. LSU did get a recruit today. LSU Baseball did. The right-handed pitcher, Colby Stringer, out of Mississippi. He's a freshman out of Mississippi, and he's topping out right now at around 87. So for a freshman, that's awesome. So everybody's excited, and we should be. Colby Stringer, welcome to Baton Rouge, brother. Kid's throwing 87 right now. He's going to develop. He's going to throw harder. He seems to be a big guy. Let me see. I think somebody had his stats on here. No. But so far in his pitching, he has 65 and 2/3 inning pitch. He's only gave up 19 hits, 4 earned runs, and 166 strikeouts, which is second best in the nation in 65 and 2/3 innings pitched. I always take high school stats with a grain of salt. Now, he's a great pitcher. Great pitcher. But I forget where he's pitching out of, but it's Mississippi. Good baseball, Mississippi. I played in the MPSA growing in high school. Great baseball. One day I'm going to tell you a funny story about Stephen Ridley. But he's a great addition. This makes me feel better about Jay leaving because these guys are going to be committing to Jay right now, especially early in the career, early in high school. They're going to commit to Jay, not just the name, because the name really doesn't mean a whole lot, especially to a kid from Mississippi. He was a Mississippi State and an Ole Miss. They were both going after him as well. LSU won out over Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Joker says he was a JUCO commit, then he blew up. Yeah. And JUCO guys are not bad guys. Period. They're not. Okay. 50-click giveaway. Let's get this done. All right. Do this right here. So, y'all can't see that at all, can you? All right, we'll just do this. So I have all three of them here. Friday is just 2 people, but Saturday, if you on both wheels, I'm going to take you off for Sunday. First one is going to be coming up. It's a Kay Beloso and Alex Milazzo ball. The 2 people available are Zach and Mr. Matthew, 617-01741. All right, here we go. See who wins the Kay Beloso, Alex Milazzo ball. It looks like Mr. Matthew is going to win that ball. Make sure you win me. Figure out how you get the ball. Now, this is the William Schmidt ball for Saturday. And this is going to be, let me get there, Mr. Rob Gossel, Miss Missy, Miss Tiger Joker, Scott Meyer, and Bear. All right, here we go. And the winner is Miss Missy. There you go. Actually, I think Miss Missy, she won a William Schmidt ball already. I think she won a William Schmidt ball. I've talked to her. May have another William Schmidt ball up for grabs here. All right. So Miss Missy was not on the Griffin Herring card. So this is now for Griffin Herring card. between DeCanes, Rob Gossel, Miss Tiger Joker, and Scott Meyer. Here we go. And the winner is Mr. Rob Gossel with the purple goatee. All right. So, Rob, you and I already talked, so you know how to get a hold of me. Okay. Because y'all didn't do the video. And Zach didn't win. But it's not rigged. I legitimately just put the names in before the show, so I don't have to type them in during the show. Okay. Y'all didn't do the video, so y'all can win. All right. Let's see. Any more questions, comments, or concerns? I know AP has Mr. Heath Schroer on tonight on Timeouts and Tangents. Probably going to have a guest Thursday. Thursday's probably going to be a little more fun of a show. I want to relax. Anyway, I don't want to. I love baseball, guys, but man, when this kind of baseball, it's tough. It's tough. Probably gonna have a guest on Thursday. Going to verify, make the graphic, let everybody know. Also, again, let me know. Send me a DM. Comment on a post. If I'm gonna make a post a little bit later on talking about it, but if the giveaway for the Jesus One hoodie would be something you'd be interested in, let me know, because I'm willing to do it just to kind of help out this ministry and also help out LSU FCA. Anyways, aside from that, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. I hope everyone has a great day. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, share this to everybody you know if they like LSU baseball, LSU sports, baseball, football in general. You're here for it. Don't forget your pick to clicks. The pick to click will be out tomorrow, I believe, at 4:30. If the game starts at 6, it will be out at 4, 2 hours prior. That's what I'm sticking to now, 2 hours prior. And this weekend, I'll give you a little sneak peek. Y'all can thank Mr. Zach Nunez for this. He found this on Facebook Marketplace. So this is actually a legit Wilson batting helmet for the Maneri days. This is not like a fake one. This is a legit one. Yeah, because it even has a sticker saying this helmet is recommended to be replaced 2 years after the date of purchase. So, anyways, fun little giveaway this weekend for the Paul Maneri signed batting helmet. Stringer is class 2026. Stringer is a freshman in high school, so I'm not sure what class he is. Let me double check my screenshot real quick, Stan. I'm sorry. Yeah, so oh no, okay, he's not a freshman. My bad. The dang kid's X profile threw me off. He has a pinned comment on his X profile says from 2023. So he's class 2026. I'm sorry. And Bill Yacht, I see your comment. Max, you have to be 18 years old to enter these giveaways. You have to be 18 years old because I can't have a minor on a video. So this is going to be given away this weekend. Probably, let's do it Saturday night. Or we can do a weekend whole thing because this is actually a really cool little giveaway. So this is going to be given away this weekend. Other than that, code Walk It Off Talk. Get you 20% off if you just want apparel. Let's go get that white hoodie. Mine's in the mail right now. I wish I'd have got it before today so I could have it for y'all to see. But I'm getting it sometime this week. I'm gonna wear it. Y'all gonna see it. I promise you, you will not regret buying. Like it's this thing. It's these are so comfy. Walk It Off Talk. He's 20% off. Support those. Support us. Go to Lemme Sourdough Bakery on Instagram. Join their hot plate and get to your sourdough. Ask most of the people in the chat who've had it, It is life-changing. Life-changing. But above all else, God loves you with all of his heart. All he wants you to do is love him back. He makes your life so much better. And to end the show today, I give eternal life to them. They will never perish, and no one will snatch them out of my hand. John 10:28. And on that, God loves you. I love you. Have a great evening. Until next time.